Alright. Sorry about that last video. The guy called about my Uber ride, and I had to get that figured out, and I just now got to my next hotel, so, in, Palm Beach. It's really nice here. This hotel room's so much bigger and better. But I'm gonna hit a couple, like, AA meetings and smart meetings and whatever today. It'd be nice, I think. Let's find my lighter. Things are good. Things are great. I can't complain. Life's a lot better, I reckon. Doing a lot more than I originally do. Well, good things, not bad things. Finding healthier ways to handle situations when stress and crap comes about. Met a lot of good people out here. Helped a lot of people as well. Just, actually here's a view of some of it. Right on the other side of that building, that condos, is the ocean. It's different here, but a good kind of different. Pretty excited the way my life's headed. Oh man, kind of got in a crappy situation with the rehab place. They ended up having to put me out for some bullcrap reasons. So they put me in a hotel. I had to figure that out. I was so stressed out about it. Prayed and prayed and prayed, and of course, as you know, like always, God always comes through. Really opened my eyes to things. Now I'm in this other hotel, and I came out here with 81 bucks. Well, first on the plane I had nothing. Right before then, my grandma gave me a card and it had 50 bucks in it. And it's just insane, the entire walk through this this journey. Like, things seem so impossible, but all the impossible ended up being possible. I found a lot of hope. I found out when you go to do something, like a goal or something, you got to find a why. Because if you don't have a why, it's probably not likely to happen. And you got to have the will to want to, like, whether change or to want to change or stop whatever it is that you want to do. Whether it's addiction. That was my thing, addiction. And I'm an alcoholic, you know. But life's been so much better this way. Ran 5 miles for the first time running again. That felt great. I just really can't get over this. California. Crap, it's crazy because 2 weeks before I came here, I attempted suicide. It's in a real dark place. I've overcome those challenges. I'm really glad to be alive. Yeah. Who else on here? Anybody on here? Who's on here? Anybody watching? Comment if you're watching. But, yeah, I'm gonna do things I've never thought I'd ever do. Like, I'm gonna go visit Mexico. Like, that's like 15, 20 minutes away from me. I think that's gonna be gnarly. Usually I got anxiety, but my anxiety's like gone right now. It's great, it's great. Things are working out majorly in my favor. What's up, Dwayne? Chilling at the hotel, dude. Waiting until Friday. I get checked into sober living tomorrow. That's gonna be really freaking awesome, because I went from rehab. Rehab had absolutely, I was not allowed to clean, I was not allowed to cook, I was not allowed, basically I could eat, sleep, shower. I couldn't even clean my own room. They did that because, during detox, they just, I guess, don't let you do any of that. But we went on a lot of, outings, hit a lot of meetings. My favorite outing, let's see, I'm trying to think, what is my favorite outing? Probably the beach. What's up, Samuel? What's up, Joe? The beach, it's a Sunrise or something beach, something like Cliffs, Sunlight's Cliffs, or something weird. But that was freaking awesome, it was breathtaking. I got to see seals, I touched a seal, out there in its natural habitat. That was pretty cool. Never in a million years would have thought I'd be able to do that. That's like a zoo thing, but you can't even touch them there. Some cool parks. One of my favorite lakes is Lake Murray, Murray Lake, whatever. And that, I go there and I meditate. Meditating's really nice. It really calms me down, especially in anxiety. I learn methods to breathe, because meditation helps also with running, because you learn how to breathe through meditation, and then through that breathing, then you take that breathing into running, and then you get a pattern going, and it makes things so much fucking easier. It's great. An accomplishment, actually. It's really crazy. So in the rehab, I said I was going to stop smoking cigarettes. And a few folks in there told me, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. So to prove to myself and them that I had willpower over it, and I was trying to prove to my body that I had control. So for 2 weeks I quit smoking, and then some majorly craziness happened. We were trapped in the house, and then the coaches were going kind of crazy, going off on everybody, and everybody was just so much tension. And then I ended up smoking again. But I'm working on not smoking anymore. I'm smoking now, but hell yeah, man, proud of you. Thanks, bro. Yeah, things are going great. I'm not coming back home. I'm gonna stay out here, because I feel like my success rate staying out here is gonna be a lot better. I don't want to be a statistic. I want to be one that makes it. But going back home, I'd probably end up relapsing. I don't want to do that. Finally got my son. My son's back in my life, and it's amazing. It's amazing how things happen when you do things for yourself and you follow God and you just listen. I've been doing my devotions every day, every morning. I'm not a morning person, so I make myself a morning person, and my body's like, no, go back to bed. I started waking up at 6:15, and then from there, I started getting comfortable, and my body was okay with it, so then I started getting up 15 minutes early, so 6 o'clock, and then that was way too comfy. Then I started getting up at 5, and doing that actually really, really helped. Not wasting my days. I use a lot of my time. I learn a lot. I want to be a motivational speaker, so I go on YouTube, because that's the only thing we were allowed to have. We had bomb-ass TV and everything, but yeah, so learning how to speak to people. This right here is a step forward, I guess. Trying to not be so camera shy. Talk about it. All kinds of craziness. It's dope. Life's fantastic. Right now, I've run into some crazy times. I've managed pretty well. I think my success is going to be pretty. I'm going to be pretty successful. I'm really positive about it. I just had to get over. One thing that I had to get over was the fact that I thought that, yeah, I'm going through rehab. I'm totally going to be prepared for this world, walking into it. And hold on one second. Thought, whenever I first started, it was I'm going to be totally prepared for this world and all the temptations and crap, but then that was just setting myself up for failure. then I had to realize, like, I'm never going to be fully prepared. Like, there's going to be so many situations, and I try to prepare for them, but you can never be too prepared. You can never know too much about something. Yeah, I've thought about leaving many times. Whenever things got hard, because I'm so used to running from my problems or drinking them away. Linda, the weather here is like so warm. Like the coldest it gets is 57, and I'm like, everyone else is in like sweatshirts, heavy like clothing. I'm like, no, I'm gonna wear my t-shirt and jeans and shorts. But who was that? But yeah, there were times that got really rough. I thought about leaving. Talked myself out of it many times, because what I had to realize is if I mess up out here, there's no fallback plan. So no situation. I don't want a fallback plan, because then that's gonna be like, it's gonna take me away from like my main goals. You don't want to have a fallback, because then I don't know how to explain it, but I learned that through like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So yeah, there's some challenges I made it through. I'm surprised, like 33 days ago, before that actually, and like I said, I tried killing myself, because I was just like, I felt like that's all I had left. I was giving up too early. But I got the strength to make it another day. Another day. Another day. People ask me like my sobriety date, and I just basically tell them I've got today. And if I got today, that's all that matters. Then the next day comes, and I got today. You know, you take it one day at a time. It's nice though. It's nice being sober and having things to look forward to. Thank you. Have things to look forward to. I mean, especially my kids back in my life. That's a big thing for me. Like, that was one of my biggest stressors. I drank a lot, did drugs to try to cover that up. It's an emotional thing. Like, it's hard. But when you hold on, you push through it, do what you gotta do, things happen, things change. Life is what you make it. Everyone goes through shitty situations. It's just on how you deal with it. Deal with it negatively, you know, it's going to be a lot harder. But if you deal with it in a positive sense and just take it as like, okay, what lesson am I learning this time? What is it? You know, is this? I don't know. It's just good stuff. I feel like I'm going to make it really far. And the best part of like sobriety, like this whole thing, is like being able to help other people that are going through situations I've gone through. I mean, I've been a cutter for many, many years, and being able to talk to other people that do that and like help them as I'm helping myself. Like, if I know something that other people don't know, and it helps, it's just amazing. Yeah. It's been crazy, but good crazy, mostly. Made it this far. Plan on making it a lot further. Keep on going. Wednesday was the day, actually. It's a specific day. I was thinking about one of my boys and how I haven't seen him in a long time, and I was just so caught up in it. I started going back to a dark place that I have been previously, and I prayed, and I felt so hopeless. Like, I was praying to God, like I have nothing left. I feel like I'm blocked in a corner, like there's nothing else to, like I lost all hope and everything. Just was at the end of my wits. And then I laid down. I was just gonna go to bed, just sleep it off. Super depressed. And then when the COs comes in, it's like, hey, it's your time to make a call. And I was like, you know what? I really don't want to call right now. She said, I think it'll be a good thing. So I called Dad first, and then there wasn't an answer. And then I freaked out. So I'm like, all right, maybe I'll just not call anybody. And she's like, well, why don't you call your brother? So I'm like, all right, I'll call my brother and see. You know, just whatever. If you don't answer, I'm not calling anybody else. Call him. Well, first I called the house and no answer, and then I called him. And he answered, and he said, right whenever I was getting ready, he was like, how you doing and everything. And right whenever I was about to tell him, you know, I'm depressed because, you know, I'm missing my little boy. The next day is Halloween. It's just, I hate the holidays. My brother's like, you won't believe who's pulling in. I said, who? And he told me that my son, both my kids' moms were together in the same vehicle, pulling up together with both my boys. And that was just, that was an emotional moment for me. Like, I was thinking before that, like, it was impossible. Like, it's never happened, like, it's not happened this far. And I don't know, I guess that little bit of hope. And then things changed. And then I found out some other good news I'm not going to talk about quite yet, but it's just, this whole journey has just taught me so much about life, a lot about myself, like so much. Things like, I don't know, things that have really messed me up over the years, that's really affected my relationships, dating, friendships. And I've, like, learned a lot of, like, why. Learned the whys to it. And, well, now I know how not to, like, screw that up. And how to, like, how to manage. Yeah. I don't even know. I miss my friends back home. I miss everyone back home. That was actually a really hard thing the first couple days of in rehab. Just missing my kids, missing my family. It's just out of the norm. I leave Ohio and come to California. That was just like a major step to, like, I was so uncomfortable with it. But that's one thing I learned, is that being uncomfortable is actually really good, because if you get too comfortable, it's, you know, you just end up, you could end up screwing up. It doesn't mean it's always going to happen, but me personally, I can't get comfortable. I got to be uncomfortable. And everything that I've been avoiding my entire life has been my biggest opportunity now. It's like everything I've ran from, it's gotten me further in life. In this last 33 days, like, I feel like I've lived an entire lifetime in 33 days. It's been a rough journey. There's a lot of things I really had to deal with that I didn't want to deal with, and then things that were out of my control that kind of really, hi Bubby, yeah, I just can't get over this whole sobriety thing. I've never felt this good in my entire life. What's up, Evan? I don't know. You put God first and put God in every equation, then things change. There's been people that I've met in this rehab, well, in the rehab spot that I was in, that were, like, completely against God and, like, Satan worshipers, and then just based on day one, that they've, from the time they met me, from the time that I left, they've, like, I guess I've grown onto them, and they're really interested in this God I speak of. And I don't know, I feel like, I don't know, once I let God start taking over everything, then I've been able to help and touch other people's lives. encourage people to stay that really wanted to leave, and they got so much more out of it. One of my good, well, he's not a good buddy, but one of the guys I know, he ended up like not having his kid. He was taken, and then I ended up encouraging him to stay a couple more days in rehab. And because he did stay, he ended up getting to see his kid. His wife was like totally fine with it, and that inspired him to like stay sober. It's when you learn something and that really helps, you just share it, because you don't know who's out there struggling. Like the simplest thing, one of the things that got me through, I wrote a bunch of positive quotes and put them on my wall, because my room looks so depressing. There's 2 beds in one room. It was just reminded me of the hospital. So I was like, what can I do to like keep myself positive, keep myself sober? So then I was reading a lot of or listening to a lot of YouTubers and vloggers that are addicts, and how they got through it, and how famous people got through it. Oh, look. Gnarly. How they got through it. Listen to motivational speeches every single morning for an hour at a time, because the first thing that you hear when you wake up usually sticks with you for the rest of the day. I also wrote down all my goals and everything that I want. And currently right now I have 147 goals. And every morning I spend 30 minutes on my goals. I speak them in existence, because it talks about it in the Bible. I've got a book, it's called Calling Things That Are Not As If They Were. It's just speaking things in existence like God did, like let there be light, like He spoke that out. I forget where I was going with it, but positive quotes. I got one of the guys did that. He wrote things and it ended up helping him stay positive, so I tried it. So even if I had a bad day, there was positivity all on my walls around me. Every morning I make my bed, because that's the first accomplishment, and it's an encouragement to complete other tasks. And given say you have a bad day and you come back home to your room, I mean, your bed's made and clean, and it's hope that tomorrow's going to be better. I learned that from a military guy that was on a motivational speech. I highly recommend watching it. And also something that I realized is whenever things get hard, like my room kind of got a little messy. And one of the guys was talking about how his house was messy or whatever, and that was just his mom said that was like a reflection of the inside. Like you feel you're cluttered inside, you got a lot going on. So like one thing I did was I made sure my room was clean. Like my stuff, I mean, we're not supposed to like sweep the floors and crap, because they do that, but like my personal belongings, made sure that my clothes were put away and neatly put away, because like it's just positive. It's positive stuff. It gets me going, like helps me continue to do better. And I've noticed I've completed a lot more tasks doing that. I feel a lot better. I read quotes. I sat down for an hour and watched YouTube. It was like all motivational speeches, and so I wrote down I think it was like 123 positive quotes in my book. I put 20 something on my wall, and I drew like pictures with them. Because you surround yourself with like positivity, even on the bad days, like it just helps. It just leads further. It's just really good stuff. Let's see, anybody? Miss you too, Linda. Sydney, that's what I'm talking about. Your awesome personality. Thank you. But yeah, like my entire goal for this YouTube video, or not YouTube, but this Facebook, is like I listened to somebody that wrote a quote, or not a quote, but like something on Facebook, and it kind of helped me out. So I mean anything. I mean there could be anybody out there that listens to this, and like It's positive. Things about it different, just knowing that you're not alone. I'm going to try to do this every single day. I'm going to try to, like, I don't know, and it's also going to be a YouTube channel that I'm starting up specifically towards addicts and alcoholics. And yes, Linda, they fed me so good. For, like, lunch, we had steak. For dinner, we had ribs. Like, it was a lot. It was really good. I tried a lot of food I've never had before. But yeah, I don't even know what else to talk about. But a lot of things happen when you really want them to happen. But yeah, speaking of existence, and then I just expect it when I pray for whatever it is. Like my kids, I started my goals on the 26th, and then on the 30th is whenever my son, and one of my goals was, one of my things was, I wanted my son back in my life, because I haven't seen him in forever, and I want him in my life. And then Wednesday was just like, it was just complete confirmation, majorly. And I know I'm not alone. I have a great support system. I got my family. I got some cool, what would you call that? Like professional support. Some people that I met here that I've encouraged majorly. I mean, I got them for support, like fallback, so I can call them if anything really goes on. Which is nice, because like I've tried to stop so many times. Like I stopped doing meth. Mother's Day, so like 5 months ago, and that was, the withdrawals on that was crazy. Luckily, I didn't have too many withdrawals for alcohol when I stopped. But I found a why I wanted to stop, because one, I want my kids, and like I want to be able to, like, instead of like lead people the wrong way, lead them to, because I'm a leader, I know that, but everything I did was like negative, really, really bad. And so I think this is a good step. Yeah, it's definitely a good step. I know it. But the one thing weird about being out here is because, I'm out here like this, my boots, my belt buckle, looking all hick. And people just, I don't know, I get stared at a lot. But a lot of people come up and like talk to me because, I don't know, act like they've never seen a hillbilly. But it's nice. I highly recommend, if you know anybody that needs to get like a rehab, like do it. It's going to be the best decision of their lives. I tried talking myself out of going days before I came here, and if I didn't come here, I'd be in a hot mess. I mean, that's just, I don't know. My cousin posted a picture, the only picture he had of me, and that was at Strickers Grove, and I was pretty lit. And I had beer in front of me. I just looked like crap. Of course, that all came down to like self-worth too. I didn't really, I don't know, I had no respect for myself. I allowed myself to be walked on. I just saw myself as so little, like nothing. And when I started like caring about myself again and loving myself, I'm finally starting. I mean, it's a long process, but it's still going on. I'm just learning to love myself. In the bathroom, I wrote like positive quotes on sticky notes, posted them all over the mirror. So every day I'd go to the bathroom, shower, anything like that, I would, I'd read every one of those positive affirmations, and it seemed to really help. And then one of my, like, roommates, but not in my room, but one of the other people came up to me and said, "Hey, can I take your sticky notes, because I'm working on whatever, like bettering themselves." And I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." So then everyone that she needed, she took. And then, like, just that little bit of, like, doing things, crap, sorry, I just got a text and it kind of threw me off. But yeah, like, just me taking that little step to just do that. At first when I started, it was like, okay, I'm just gonna read it, and I read it, but then didn't really believe it. And then the more I started doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, it helped. And then I started believing it. And, like, I don't think I've ever been able to love myself, as weird as that sounds, but finally able to love myself. I respect myself. And yeah. Let's see, let me see anybody else. Sitting here realizing how good you're doing. I'm so proud of you. I'm here if you get me to talk to you. Thank you. I would definitely keep you down for that. You have to make peace with yourself. Yes, I definitely had to make peace with myself. Like, peace on the inside. Like, the things that come out and the things that you do are a reflection of self. Like, the way that you feel about yourself, or the way that it all starts from the inside. Like, thought process. I learned a lot about, like, thoughts. Like, thoughts are your worst enemy. Especially, yes, your brain, your mind can lead you down like the major, like, bad path, because you'll overthink things. That's my biggest thing. I was an overthinker. Oh, yes, coffee. I was an overthinker. I overthought everything. Because our brains are wired to always find an answer for everything. And so whenever I started, like, getting thoughts, it's called mindfulness. It's mindfulness. Basically, this is what I do. So when I have a thought, I acknowledge that I have that thought, and call it a thought. And, like, I'm having the thought that, or I feel like, and then what you're doing is you're taking that thought and you're putting space between thought and yourself. It's acknowledging it and then letting it go. Kind of like you're on a rush. You're in a rush to get to work. Say, for instance, and you see a friend. Well, instead of going into full conversation, like, and for instance, like, with your mind, like, thinking about this thought, related to, but that friend, you just nod, acknowledge that they're there, and then go on. That's basically what you do with your thoughts. Just acknowledge that it's there, and then just let it go. Don't ponder on it, because that'll just lead you down like a craziness. Trust me, I know this is crazy. My anxiety, I've learned to deal with my anxiety. Breathing techniques. I didn't really know how to breathe until I started watching YouTube and focusing on my breathing. It really, really, really helps. There's a lot of things that I've learned myself that really help and really get me by. Life's just so much better. I'm happy. It makes me happy. Life is, like I said before, life is what you make it. And just do your best to do it. Here's a couple Bible verses that I wrote down. Here's a journal that my grandma gave me. So this is what's written on it. And then, like, every day that I've been here, I wrote down everything. So, especially the rough times, because those are the moments that I really need. I go back to my journal and read things from. I hated journaling. I just hated it because writing, I had to write so many sentences back when I was in school, and it drove me nuts, and I just didn't like to write. But writing's really good for me, journaling, so I can go back to those moments and see that I've made it through. I've made it through those moments, that there's, like my scars. All of these, that's the last one. I attempted to take the craziness, but my scars, I'll rub my scars, especially the ones on my side, because that just reminds me that I made it past that. Like, I made it. And it was hard, but I made it. Got through it. That gives me hope too. But, alright, well, I'm about to log out. Y'all take it easy, have fun. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if it helped you, maybe. Or share it, please share it. Thanks.